Ba-ba-da-bow-bow. Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo!
Wow.
Woo! Today, I'm refusing to subscribe to your woos.
Why? What happened? That was a good one.
It was a real good one, but it hit the soul.
I felt like
I was
jazz.
just like, I don't know if I could replicate it.
You can't refuse to subscribe when we're asking everyone to subscribe.
Fine. Kind of a segue. Welcome into Banger Management, the Fantasy Hockey Podcast with Jake, Josh, and Kevin. Today is our Week 18 news updates and Would You Rather episode. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Rate us 5 stars on your own accord under no pressure.
Or maybe a little pressure. Yeah.
It's just that we'd appreciate it and it would make us happy. Is that enough pressure?
I mean, it's actually crazy. I mean, last episode, I think at the end of it, I mentioned that, like, oh, if you've been listening for a while and you haven't, like, taken a look at the ratings or whatever and ranked us yet, like, it would be really appreciated if you did, like, scroll down on that Spotify or Apple or whatever and just give us a 5 stars if you like what you hear. And then so many people in the Discord actually reached out and was just like, you know what? Like, I was, like, listening for months. I'm always in the Discord every day. You guys are answering my questions, like, and I hadn't rated yet, so I'm just going to go do that. So to those people, we really appreciate you. Like, the ratings actually jumped like so much after that episode. So I was actually pretty crazy that that happened. So if you want to be part of the community and first of all, join the Discord. I mean, that's the place to be. If you're not already there, it's week 18 of the fantasy hockey season. What are you doing? If you're listening to this and not in the Discord already. And if you're intimidated by the Discord, don't be. It's literally just a community center for banger management folk. And that's it. So
yeah, the way I see it, it's step 1. We get more 5-star ratings. Step 2, ? Step 3, profit. And that's the step I'm excited for. So,
Yeah, and on that note, I feel like all the banger management folk are really diamonds in the haystack. So, appreciate that.
I'm noticing that we just have so much, like, just crazy vocabulary that doesn't make any sense. I think most of it is me.
It's really
I think most of it is me because I don't English half the time, but that's fine. I think people like it. And it's authentic, guys. It's off the dome. It's whatever it is.
No,
I do it too, but it's definitely more intentional.
You did the diamond in the haystack, actually, Josh. I remember listening to that. I remember being like at the gym and being like, wait, that's not the saying. Like, and then somebody commented on it, and I thought that was funny.
Yeah. And also on that note, subscribe to the channel on YouTube and give this video a like. And you could definitely see all of these socials in the podcast description.
I think we're approaching 200 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, it's
damn.
huge.
And
that's
we only started
uploading
video in November. That was our first video. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Guys, we love you. Thank you for listening and for watching and liking, subscribing, and the works. And let's begin with this really busy news week. You wouldn't think going into the Olympics, but it's pretty intense.
Yeah, and I will say also, like, prefacing this, we're recording this
That's
like 2 days out. Yeah, 2 days out of the actual break. The break is going to be, like, from the impression I'm getting is it's going to be like a mini trade deadline because there's the roster freeze, which starts at, I think, February 4th around 3 p.m., which is about a day and a half from when we're recording this. And the freeze lasts all the Olympic break. Then we come back from Olympic break, and then there's only like a week until the actual trade deadline. So a lot of teams, I think, are going to be making some moves. We haven't seen anything exciting yet. So, I mean, we got some good news for you, but no like blockbuster trades. Artemi Panarin still hasn't been moved, much to Kevin's chagrin.
Yeah.
But so, like, there's a chance that this comes out and then you're like, wait, they didn't cover this massive Artemi Panarin trade. It's probably because it happened after we recorded. We wouldn't do that to Kevin or to you guys.
We tried to stretch it out as much as possible, but schedule-wise and everything, it's just... I can't believe Panarin's not traded yet, to be honest. To me, it's 100% happening before the Olympic break starts. So in the next 3 days from when we're recording this.
No, it's more like a day and a half at this point. So it's I'm pretty excited. This is like on like Reddit or whatever site you use to get your news. Like the F5 is like refresh.
Yeah.
And it's just like you just refresh every like. The worst is when they have like those like kind of I'm hearing rumors of this, and then you see like another person be like I'm hearing like shimmerings of this. Like and you're like just say the damn trade already. Like we know it's happening, and then it'll be like this guy got traded, and it's like to where, and then like an hour later to here. It's like okay, what's the return? Like and they just like piece by piece, and then like. Sometimes like it can be over the course of an entire day you find out like one trade.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into some news we actually have. So here's a pretty big one.
Where do we think he's gonna go? Just out of curiosity.
We'll talk about that when we get to the Panarin bullet point.
Yeah.
Fine. Fair enough. Okay.
Wait, do we have a Panarin point? I think that was from last
We
week.
do.
Oh, it's from this week? Okay, cool. All right, so Barry Trotz is stepping down as the Nashville GM. Not health related. Everyone could, I think everyone immediately was like, "Oh my God, he's cooked," And it's like, no, he said in his conference, like, "No, I'm good. I'm just not great at my job."
Yeah.
No kidding.
That's what he said, just in different words.
Yeah. So I think that he just, I don't know. He decided that he was done. Yeah, retirement. I mean, that's super fair. Like in any league other than in most jobs other than the NHL, people are retiring, not doing something so intense at such a late age. Like not Lou Lamoriello or anything like that. Lamoriello. Yeah. So what do we think about? Does this have any fantasy impact, or is this more just something interesting that happened in the league?
I think this has fantasy impact. I just don't know yet which way it's going to swing, because it can be like, he's stepping away because he wants somebody else to take over this next chapter of like the rebuild type of thing, right? Or it can be, we're so close to the playoffs, let's get somebody that actually knows what they're doing to make moves for this team to like compete at the playoffs. That would be dumb, but I don't want to rule it out.
I don't think that he's essentially, he said he's like stepping down, but he's going to stay on until the next person his replacement has been hired. And from what I'm seeing, like their goal is to have someone by the draft. But I don't think that, I don't know if I necessarily expect him to be like immediately replaced. Like I think he's probably going to finish out the season.
Yeah.
So, and in that case, like, does that mean that he's not going to be making too many moves because he's like, it's not really my job anymore, Like, does that mean he's not going to sell some guys he should sell?
It's just the timing is so crazy right before the trade deadline. Like,
literally on a game day.
So
like they're playing today, and he's like, I'm out.
That's just suspicious, though. I mean, these people are not stupid, right? They choose a specific day and time for a reason.
Yeah.
So we don't know what that reason is just yet. I feel like we're gonna get a clearer picture when we have more information. But to me, it's just a smart thing for Nashville to do is like sell off the pieces that they can get value for, and then start building up the prospect pool again, and retool or rebuild or whatever you want to call it. Like this team is not going to be in the playoffs.
No. So
I don't know. I think it's weird timing.
Specific...
It is weird.
Yeah.
Timing.
It's extremely extremely odd, and like I don't know what it actually means, but I think overall Nashville should be a seller, and they can get a pretty good return for the guys.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
It is super provocative. It's number one on our list. I mean, it's
So
I agree with Kevin's assessment, though. Like
would you guys, do you have any like players that you're like, okay, this directly impacts this player? Like, do you think like Stamkos, Marchand, like any of these guys, are they like more / less likely to get moved? Or you're like, it's too ambiguous right now, this is just something that happened and to monitor?
I mean, I think the guys that you can get value for, the Stamkoses and the O'Reillys, these guys become express sell highs, in my opinion, because I know they're delivering, but I don't know, a move like this means something's going to happen. And when something is going to happen, that means there's uncertainty, that means there's volatility, that means the risk goes up, the values go down. So if these guys get moved, they're not going to be producing what they're doing right now, in my opinion. So while they're doing this right now, and before the uncertainty really kicks in, you get them off your roster. Somebody in our Discord said they traded Stamkos plus O'Reilly for Cale Makar to a team that was like desperate to make the playoffs.
That's insane.
I mean, if you look at the points and you do the math, they're like, Makar has been a little bit slower, and these two guys have been popping off. Like, if you're playing in a league that, I'm not going to say it's a taco league, but I'm just saying there's people that really need quantity of help, I guess. And
the only time that made sense is in the years when Stamkos was elite and Makar was not yet old enough to be in the NHL. That's when I would have made that trade. And even then, if it was a keeper league, I wouldn't have made that trade. No, that's crazy. I think for one last thing, I think the main person that I think this changes things for is O'Reilly. Mm-hmm. Everyone else, I think, if their likeliness of getting traded is the same as it was before this, but I know that Trotz specifically said, I'm not going to trade O'Reilly unless he wants to go. Mm. But O'Reilly doesn't have a no move clause. Yeah. So that was more of like he imposed one on himself. If he's not the GM anymore, the next GM is 100% going to trade O'Reilly. So I think that's the one person who might get a big change here. But yeah, as Jakey was saying, let's move on to the next one. Elias Lindholm is out until after the Olympic break with an upper body injury. Victor Arvidsson taking a spot on power play 1. I don't know yet if Lindholm is missing the Olympics because of this. He just got placed on IR, and there's been kind of no news about it. I think he's missing the Olympics. And crazy. As a Lindholm owner, I'm honestly like, it sucks for him and for the team, but I'm just happy it happened now and not after the Olympic break, because now he has like 3 weeks to recover and hopefully come back healthy after.
Yeah, he's been such a surprise this year overall. He's been a really good producer for your team. And the truth is that we've seen it before, even though Fraser Minten has been on a decent tear, I still don't think that anyone is replacing him this year. Like, look, he's had stretches where he's been a clear sell high. He was a sell high on our buy low sell high episode at the beginning of the season. And then there's also been slow stretches, but he's definitely been the center to own, not Marat. I can't even try, or Minton for any long term. So this is a big blow. In a way, though, I think it's almost the perfect timing fantasy wise. Sucks for him, of course, but like you said, you get back a guy with a stellar playoff schedule at the end of it. Do you think it's an opportunity to buy in deep enough leagues?
Yeah, I mean, I like his playoff schedule a lot. I think he could be underrated a bit. Honestly, like the timing's actually kind of unreal because one is the Olympic break. Assuming he comes back healthy after the Olympic break, it's great because it's the Olympic break, and Boston has by far the worst schedule this week. They only have 3 games. So I'm like, yeah, stash him on IR, get healthy, take your time, and then come back after the Olympic break, and I'll just stream someone with a way better schedule who has like literally twice the games. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think buy low. It's hard because people are smart about that. I've been trying to be a bit sneaky with that where I'll like message people like for the kind of like a week leading up to now, or a week or two being like trying to buy their injured guys, knowing that the Olympic break is coming and that's going to be a couple weeks of no games where, even if they're like 4 weeks away, but that's only really like 1 week when you have that break there, right? But most people seem to be pretty smart on it. They're like, nah, my guys are going to come back and miss like no games. And I'm like, yep, you got me. I mean, but if you can pull that off, it's great.
The way to go about it is if the opportunity is really there if these guys are on teams that are not in the playoff picture that want to be in the playoffs. Like if the Lindholm owner is like, maybe 6 teams make the playoffs in your league and he's in like 8th place and he just lost Lindholm, then he has to make a call of like, do I wait to see if this guy comes back or do I trade him to a team that's maybe in 2nd place and get something that I know is going to be able to produce for me? Like that's how you make those trades happen. Because if the guy is like Josh is top of the standing, like he's not going to sell Lindholm for nothing, right? So.
Yeah. On the note of the Bruins, Pavel Zacha is also out until after the Olympic break with an upper body injury, and Casey Middlestat gets his spot on Power Play 1. Something we said on our last episode or one of our previous episodes that we weren't too hyped on Fraser Minten, even though he was kind of popping off. And look at that. The 2 top centers are injured, and he's still not Power Play 1.
He is Power Play 1.
I think who got bumped off last game? These were the lines.
It's Geeky, Pasta, McAvoy, Arvidsson, Minten.
Is that just what it says on DFO, or did you like actually check the last game lines? Because I checked
on DFO, that was practice this morning, so I don't know.
Okay, so maybe it's changed because I don't think he was on it last game, but maybe it changed as of this morning. But yeah, I'm still not like it's just like they're playing so few games on this long week, and then I expect at least one, if not both, those guys to come back after the break. So I'm not too hype on it.
Yeah, but as we record this, like Boston, over the whole Olympic break, week 18, they have 3 games. So it's 1 before the break and 2 after the break. Like, there's way better guys that you can stream given just the quantity.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's go to the next one. Brad Marchand returned from injury, but then got injured again. Carter Verhaeghe is taking his spot on Power Play 1. Another chance to get Carter Verhaeghe off your team. Yay. Guys, please trade him. He's not going to be Power Play 1 when this team is healthy. Like, even without any possible acquisitions, whatever, he's not Power Play 1. But also, it's Florida. They're going to convince, like, Panarin to come for league minimum, and, like, it'll be even harder for Verhaeghe to get Power Play 1. So I think we're all still firmly believers of the get Verhaeghe off your team while he has value.
Any opportunity to sell Verhaeghe with Power Play 1 value, you try to get him off your roster. That's what you're supposed to do. If he's still on your roster, you have another opportunity to do it. Don't miss it.
Yeah.
They should trade him. Like
they might.
They should, absolutely.
They might.
Yeah.
Do you like him if he goes? Yeah, like if he goes to the Rangers and return some sort of deal, right?
I think his value would be better on the Rangers.
Yeah.
I think so too.
First of all, they have a great playoff schedule, but anywhere that he goes, I assume he's getting Power Play 1. I think the only reason he doesn't have it in Florida is just they don't like him there for some reason. But like, I don't think that's skill or merit based. I think that's just they've decided in their heads he's not the guy they want there, and so he just never will be. I think on any other team that's trading for him, he's probably going to be Power Play 1. So
I mean, their Power Play 1 is pretty stacked though.
For sure, yeah. But I mean, like, he's also a really good player.
Yeah.
Like, he's shown in the past that he...
But yeah.
Okay, sorry, yeah, good player. But I mean, I think he could be really good if he was given more opportunity.
That's fair.
Like, I know Bennett's been insane, but like, Verhaeghe could be Power Play 1 over him. like on another team in another life.
Jake, you won't like
to hear
whatever.
That, like,
but...
yeah,
don't you put that in?
No, he won't be. Like, no, he absolutely won't be. I mean, like, if the coach didn't hate Verhaeghe, that's a completely reasonable thing to do, but it's never going to happen. I'm not saying that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, get him off your team. On the topic of Florida, Anton Lundell is day to day with an injury. Erod takes his spot on line 1 power play 2. That's Evan Rodriguez. I honestly, Rodriguez, I've kind of liked his shots face-off wins combo this year, but I've just never really picked him up because I don't trust any points production coming from him. So, but if you're looking for those two things,
I picked them up multiple times because the shots face-offs are actually pretty great. Like in our league specifically, there's nobody that shoots this much on waivers besides Erod. The thing is, his points should be higher than they are. It's like with the deployment, he's playing with Sam Reinhart. He gets really good minutes, then he still averages like 0.4 points per game. And it's just like, if it was like 0.6, I could justify picking him up. But like 0.4 is tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Bryan Rust was suspended for 3 games. I originally had that Igor Chinikov got a spot on power play 1, but now it's looking like it's Mantha. So we'll... I mean, that suspension's about to be done, right?
Yep.
So Russ is going to come back. He's going to take his spot back. So it's not too relevant. I was surprised by the 3-game suspension. I don't know about you guys. It seems kind of out of nowhere.
It was like a head contact, so they have to like be strict about it. Not surprised. I expected 1 game, but
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not surprised he got suspended. I'm surprised 3 games for a guy who like doesn't have like a prior history of like being a dirty player, and like it didn't look like he tried to murder him or anything, you know. Like,
but I think they also take into account like how hurt the other guy got, and like Besser's like missing a lot of time. So I think they're like, okay, well, we got
that's fair.
The slap on the wrist got to be a little harder.
That's fair. Not like it's going to change how many points he was going to get over that time period.
No. But I will say though, Bryan Rust was my buy low on this last episode. If you listen to it, it was in the sell high section, but it was actually a buy low.
We like to keep our viewers on their toes.
Yeah. But I think as he comes back, like he could actually really heat up. So
yeah,
this timing is really good since he got suspended. I think it added to the buy low. Right now, if you're listening to this, go check the Bryan Rust manager and see if he's lower in the standings, you might still have an opportunity. Even if he's higher, I think the production has been so low that you can swing a good deal. I would really be looking to do that. And then Chinikov, honestly, he's climbing up my watch list. Like the guy keeps producing with the limited minutes he's getting. I feel like he's due for a better situation or a better deployment than just minutes, and that could be interesting.
Yeah, ever since he shed the Y, it's been all uphill.
It was holding him down. It was anchoring him.
Exactly. Do we think Pittsburgh's making the playoffs? We won't dive too much into this, but yeah,
I think Pittsburgh's
it's crazy.
Yeah, what a turnaround, eh?
Yeah, I mean, throughout the whole season, I feel like it's been like they can't keep getting away with this, you know. And then like at a certain point, it turned into like, well, yeah, obviously they're making the playoffs. Look who's in their division, you know. And you realize that like I don't necessarily think they're that like amazing. I think just everyone else in their division sucks.
Yeah,
like
which is crazy.
Like look at like third place right now is the Islanders. Islanders are not a playoff team. Washington has decided to be as bad as I've said they should be for the past 2 years. New Jersey,
Panarin.
Yeah, New Jersey. I don't even want to, get in on that. Like Jack Hughes, Bubble Boy's injured again. Like
Bubble Boy.
I mean, he should be Bubble Boy.
Bubble wrap.
Yeah, exactly. Philly, whatever. No surprise there. Talkett just is Tortorella 2.0.
Yeah,
and Columbus actually,
Columbus
is
going to make the playoffs. I feel like.
Yeah,
they should.
I think they're the second best team in the division at this point after Carolina. Like, okay, no, I got to give Pittsburgh some respect for what they've been doing. So let's say like Carolina, Pittsburgh, but Columbus should be the third one there.
Pittsburgh's just such a different beast once that they got Tristan Jarry off the roster and replaced him with somebody that's actually good.
Dude, Skinner's been sick.
I know.
He's actually like,
I'm teasing, but he's actually been insane.
Yeah, it was a great trade. we said it was we said it was a fleece for Pittsburgh just getting out of Jarry and getting any value in return. So the fact that they actually got, value who's turning out to be good is just unreal. So no, definitely do think they're making the playoffs. All right, here's the aforementioned bullet point. Artemi Panarin is being held out for trade reasons. He's played his last game as a New York Ranger. Alexi Lafreniere taking a spot on power play 1. All right, let's get although he put up a 3-point game against me, so everyone that was once on my team that I play against goes nuts. But no, I'm still not too hype on him. Although maybe I don't know. I still don't think he's good. But yeah, Panarin, where is he going? So front runners, I'm seeing Washington that as a strong possibility.
Yeah.
Florida's in there, although I have no idea how they would make it work with the cap. It seems like Panarin
Verhaeghe
only wants to play somewhere. I mean, yeah, he only wants to play somewhere he can sign an extension.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of the teams are only willing to trade for him if he's willing to sign an extension. So that kind of works out on both sides. But yeah, Washington, I've been seeing Detroit.
I think him.
Sorry, not all the teams. I think Washington specifically wanted the extension, but no, other teams for sure would rather a rental.
I mean, on the latest 32 Thoughts episode, Elliot Friedman said the teams that are serious about giving him an extension are Washington, LA once they figure out if they're blowing it up or not, Philly, Florida wants to see if they can make it happen. They just have to figure out the cap. And then teams
San Jose.
Yeah, San Jose. But he said San Jose was less likely because they don't know how much they have to pay Celebrini, so it adds to that. But I feel like
$1 billion.
They still have. I think they have the most cap room in the NHL this year. So I feel like you can figure that out. You know what I mean?
And they're wasting a bunch of money just to hit the cap floor. Like they're paying like Jeff Skinner and like John Klingberg, an actual salary when they should not be getting league min, but they just signed them to that so that they could hit the cap floor. So yeah, they definitely have the space, but getting Panarin, as fun as it would be, and look, I think he makes any team better because he's still an incredible player. He doesn't help them get NHL level defensemen, right?
Yeah.
San Jose specifically, it's just not what they need. They have a lot of good wingers.
I mean, they do need it. They have a lot of wingers that are passable. I feel like a lot of their wingers are kind of it's kind of like Chicago situation, right? Like a lot of passable names, but no star.
I don't know. I feel like
Panarin's
a
Will superstar.
No, for sure. No, I'm not saying that he's not going to make their team better. I just don't think he's what their team needs.
No, they definitely need more defensemen, but they need offense as well.
If they're going to spend the assets and salary cap on something like a big swing, it should be a defenseman. It shouldn't.
There's no big defenseman out there. It was Dougie, and Dougie didn't want to go there. So.
Yeah, well, you gotta knock on some doors, make some phone calls, and figure something out. But if you have only X amount of money, they should be spending that X on defensemen. They have I'd rather make do with the wingers they have. They have Will Smith, Eklund, Toffoli. They have a bunch of random guys who have gone through really hot stretches. Chernyshov was really hot. Regenda, they have guys who can play well. Look, I'm not saying this is the most exciting Stanley Cup winning wingers or anything like that. Eventually, maybe they might need to acquire one, but they have a bunch of young guys who can grow into it. They don't have anyone in defense really who could grow into it. They're going to need to eat either their future draft picks that haven't happened yet, or they need to acquire someone. So, they might do it. I still think it would be hype for me as a Celebrini owner, but I just don't see it being San Jose.
I hear you that defense, their defense is weak and they need better defense, but I disagree in that. I do think that a star forward like that is still absolutely necessary. I think they really need both, and I think right now they have the opportunity to get one.
Also, the age just doesn't fit their window at all.
I mean, but how do you think Panarin's going to be $$sign next season or?
Not next season, but I don't think the Sharks window is really.
They can make the playoffs this year. You imagine you sign Panarin and you make the playoffs.
Yeah, but they're not going to win the cup.
I mean, they're not going to win the cup, but still making the playoffs is huge for their journey. Why
are you spending a ton of assets and a ton of money on a guy who's win now when your plan is to win in 2-3 years?
I think,
and that's when his contract's gonna look the worst.
I think when your team is young like this, getting playoff experience is super valuable. It also shows the team that you're invested and that you're making moves forward. Imagine being we're not gonna make the playoffs until we're ready to win the cup. You can't plan it like that.
I just don't think they need Panarin to make the playoffs, and I don't think Panarin's gonna maybe he gets them one extra round, which is sick, but
makes your team better. The players around him learn as well. I still think
the price is going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Look, it'll make their team better, and I think it would be super hype to watch Panarin and Celebrini just whip it back and forth. But we'll see what happens. I don't think they're not top on my.
Sticks.
Yeah, they're not top on my where I expect him to go list.
No.
If I had to guess number one, I'd say Washington.
Yeah.
That seems to be the one. The one I'm hoping
Detroit?
for the most is I think Washington. I've been seeing a lot more than Detroit. And the one I'm hoping for the most, but I don't think it's going to happen, is LA. As a Darcy Kempe owner, I would literally cry tears of joy. And a Brant Clark owner, it would be just the dream come true.
He could fix that power play.
Of course he can. He's that good of a player, absolutely. Although knowing Jim Hiller, he'd probably put him on power play too.
I would love for him to go to Florida or Washington. I think or San Jose. I think those are my preferred destinations. I think LA is not a horrible destination. I think Philly, I'd be super disappointed if he went to Philly.
Philly would suck.
Philly would
literally like Talkett's I think on my list. I think he made my list of.
What list are we talking about? The naughty or nice list?
No,
or?
No, the Rod Brindamore list for coaches who can't read good.
What is this? A center for ants?
You have to explain the reference for everybody that doesn't get it.
It's from
I'm sure everyone
Zoolander.
gets it.
For Zoolander. What a movie.
All right, let's move
All
on.
right. Yeah, let's move on. That Artemi Panarin's so hot right now. But
Yes, and he's really good at hockey.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Marty Necas, Jakey's signature sick, is day-to-day with a lower body injury. Val Nichushkin takes a spot on line 1, power play 1. It's just day-to-day. I think he's possible for the next game, or in 2 games. He already got ruled out for the next game, so not too long-term of a thing. I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah, I also think Colorado's kind of like ramping down as they lead into the Olympic break. I think a lot of their top players are more focused on that than the games at hand, it seems like, because this is the worst stretch we've seen from them. The Habs like brutalized them, if that
was awesome.
is the word, but yes.
It is a word.
It's definitely the Habs put a gun to their head and pulled the trigger. That's what it is.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
But one other thing, I guess, could Panarin go there to the Avs? Is that a thing?
Because they can't give him term. Avs and Dallas get ruled out when he wants term and they can't provide term. Dallas can only provide term if they don't want to sign Jason Robertson, but they're not ready to make that decision yet. So
why would you take Panarin over Robertson when Robertson's just younger?
Well, Panarin's better.
Not significantly enough to like make me want to. I'd rather have Robertson on my team signed to like 8 years than Panarin signed to like 5 years.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they don't have to trade for Robertson. They could just sign him. They won't have to give up assets. Yeah.
Necas is
All
so
right.
good. I'm sad to see him injured. Sorry, continue.
He'll be back. Don't worry.
Hey, yeah. Few.
All right. Big squishy Linus Ullmark returned from his leave of absence and will get most of the starts rest of the season. He came back, had one really strong game. People are like, should I be buying Ullmark? Whatever, and it's like, you should have bought him before that strong game, like now's not the time. He had one amazing game, so that his entire last month average is like a perfect, like score. So look, if you can still buy him on the fact that he, if people aren't the owners, like I held him all year and he sucked and he had one game, but I don't buy it, and you can buy him low, then yeah, I like his rest of season outlook, but I'm not paying for him at the price of that one really sick game he had.
Yeah, but this is just a tell to show that the Senators are like, this is a team that, they're far away from the playoff picture, it feels like, but this is a team that could go on a run and, push to make that the playoffs. And I think Ullmark, if that happens, would be a fantastic goalie. Like, he was a top 10 goalie going into the season. Like, that's where we were ranking him. That's what the projections were. Just so happened that, his play was significantly awful, dog waffle. And and the team around him also was $8, $9, so.
Yeah.
He actually has a really decent record this year, despite being bad in the percentages. I thought it was worse than it was, but I'm looking at this. It's 15-8-5. That's really not a horrible record.
Really
for
solid,
a goalie. Yeah. It's similar win percentages to what he had last year. It's just that his percentage has been horrible. So, given the fact that Ottawa's managed, and I know it, like you said, Kevin, it looks kind of out of reach, but they're tied with the Panthers. I mean, and they're 8 points behind the Sabres.
Out of reach, but it seems out of reach.
Not out of reach, but like I don't see it happening. It's less about the actual points amount. It's about the number of teams in between them in that spot, specifically in our division, the Atlantic, right? Like, Tampa's a lock. Detroit and Buffalo are both looking unreal. The Habs are looking unreal. That's 4 teams in your division already that are looking really, I don't want to say a lock, but are looking really, really good for playoffs. So at that point, best you're going to do is second wild card. And then there's the whole other division to worry about. Not that they're good, but, you've got like Columbus, who's been solid. And then like Washington, I expect to make a push at some point, especially if they acquire Panarin. I'd say I don't think they make the playoffs, but I do think they'll be good rest of the season and be competitive.
I feel like every single team in the Atlantic would make the playoffs in the Metropolitan.
Yeah, literally.
It's like every single
crazy.
one.
I also don't want to get ahead of myself and count Buffalo as a playoff team just yet. I feel like we've seen enough from them to know that, like, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. With Buffalo,
they're like 23-1.
I know,
they're like 24.
I know, but it's still Buffalo. Until I see them make the playoffs, I will not believe it.
I mean, the last time Buffalo made the playoffs, I was, I think, 12 years old.
Damn.
maybe 13.
We do have breaking news as we move into the next bullet point. But Sam Bennett will not return to tonight's game.
Josh, what the heck? Oh, this is your fault. This is your fault. Oh, I think Verhaeghe would be lovely on that power play. Totally over Bennett. In another world. I swear. What the absolute bleep is going on?
If I had that kind of power, my opponent's entire team wouldn't be getting healthy right before playing me. I promise you that.
This is literally as we're recording, this happens. So we don't know if it's serious enough to hold them out for the rest of the game, but there's one period left. We don't know the details. So
the Olympic break's about to come up. You know. If he misses the rest of the week.
So what, he broke his leg? There's a 3-week Olympic break.
Yeah. Look, Ovechkin broke his leg, was it last year? And then came back a day later and was like, Russian machine don't break, you know?
Only break a little.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, now I have 3 legs.
This is a bleep show. I am so sad. I really hope that this doesn't end up as bad as I just felt it was.
Yeah, well,
it'll be fine. Don't worry. Kevin's just trying to mess with you.
I just saw the notification and I repeated exactly what it said.
All right, let's get into all the players on my opponent's team this week. Anze Kopitar returned from injury after months away and is playing line 2 power play 2. So at least I'll take that. Do we expect him to get back power play 1 at some point?
Even if he does, Kopitar is just not the same guy. He's got no category coverage. He's only got face-off wins, and the points are not always there. So.
They're going to say he's got no character.
No, he's got character.
Yeah.
He's just got no category coverage. For Bangers Leagues, he's doo-doo.
Yeah, I don't like him for fantasy at all, but I do like him for what it's going to bring to the rest of the Kings. Him not being
help
there.
Darcy Kemper?
Yes, I think it can. I think it's going to be a just
Please,
to have
someone help Darcy.
Yeah, your veteran presence, the captain back. I would expect better things from Kemper moving forward. So.
I would love for that to be true.
I don't think they can get worse.
So. That I agree with. All right, on to another player on my opponent's team. Troy Terry returned from injury after months away and is playing line 2 power play 2. So that one, he actually was playing that. I had pretty bad deployment before the injury. And the coach just seems to have fallen out of favor with the coach, which is nuts because he's over a point per game on the season. And the coach puts him on line 4 and he produces. Coach puts him on, power play 2 and he produces. So I've always been a huge Troy Terry fan. I'm gonna suspend that for a week while I play him, and then I'll go back to being a huge Troy Terry fan. But it is frustrating if you're an owner, right, where you see this deployment, who's getting power play 1 over him? It's just it makes no sense. So. I do think that this could last longer than you'd be happy with because, like I said, it happened before his injury as well. It's not an easing him in type of thing. So it is a bit annoying, but I still like holding him because I think he could still be over or at least around a point per game, 0.9 points, even with the bad deployment.
But this puts him in the waiver wire conversation for a lot of leagues, in my opinion. You can pick up, we talk about sometimes Jared McCann. It's been a while, he's been on fire, but Mason Marchand, I feel like that's a genuine conversation right now between him and Troy Terry. They're a similar level of players, and the difference is the quality of the team and the deployment that they're getting. If one's line 1 power play 1, the other one's line 2 power play 2, I'm going to prefer the guy that's line 1 power play 1.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think he's an automatic drop either.
No.
He came back, line 2 power play 2, put up 2 assists. He finds a way.
Off the dome, would you rather rest of season Troy Terry or Patrick Kane?
Oh, that's really that's right. Kane has been so bad.
I know.
As a Kane owner, but he got power play 1 back.
Yep.
But the fact he lost it to JVR means it's very sketchy deployment. But Troy Terry doesn't currently have the deployment. I think I feel safer with Terry, but I think Kane has the higher upside, if that makes sense. Because I think Kane shoots a lot more. When he's on, and the power play is a lot better on Detroit. My main worry with Kane is obviously that he loses power play 1. I don't think he's going to lose it to JVR again, but I think Detroit might try and acquire another forward, and clearly they are fine bumping Kane, so that's my worry with him. But Terry just doesn't have the deployment without a trade, so I think...
My point is also, Kane, we saw when he got bumped off power play 1, he was dog water, not even rosterable. Troy Terry, we're seeing he's still rosterable even without the deployment, and he still has the upside of getting it back. So it's kind of like a floor versus ceiling type of conversation with some intricacies there. Jakey, what do you think?
I'm taking Terry.
Yeah,
I think I think that he. I mean, you look on the season, he's still at a point per game despite all the nonsense. So I don't know. I feel as if as if with Kane, if they hadn't bumped him, I would think that he already has the respect of the coaching staff and everyone to not be bumped. but clearly it's something that can happen, and he's the first guy off to get someone good.
The guy's literally the best point getter of all U.S. players ever. And they're like, nah, James Van Riemsdyk in the year 2026, that's our guy.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, no, I think I'm with you. I'm going Scary Terry as well. All right, let's go to the next one. I grouped these together because they're on the same team, so a brief break from guys on my opponent's team. Mason McTavish returned from injury and is on line 3, power play 2. I just think this Ducks team is like the deployment, at least. It's going to constantly move, and I don't really trust any of it. So
it's like a top 9.
Yeah, it's not fun. Like I thought that Quenneville coming would have the effect of early season Ducks, where they were just flying. Like it was a clear top power play. Their top guys were just nuts, And then like after that kind of like new coach or whatever bump kind of faded, they've become kind of a mess of a team, and like one that I'm kind of like avoiding, other than like feeling there's a lot of potential and a lot of buy lows there. Just the way that he like messes around with the deployment is not something that I enjoy having stakes in.
They're also in on the Panarin trade, and if that happens, I feel like it adds talent and adds structure, because whatever line Panarin will be on will be line 1.
Yeah,
if that happens. They're also missing.
They're winning. They're winning a lot of games, and you're right, for fantasy it kind of sucks because it is a top 9. Leo Carlsson is their top guy, and other than the fact that Ryan Poehling had a monster game against me yesterday and flipped the faceoffs category, not happy. Like
that's crazy. Your opponent streamed Ryan Poehling?
He did, and I streamed Dominic James. Yeah, it was great. It flipped faceoffs. I mean, I still had a big win, but not happy. All this to say, I think it's one of those situations that it's just going to be really tough to own anyone. But I do like Leo Carlsson and Gauthier when they come back. Not the same as they were performing at the beginning, but those are kind of the two guys, and anything outside of that, it's going to be all over the place.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, even like with Gauthier, like you can see him on power play too. Like that's happened multiple times throughout this year. So like, even though I still really like him because his shot volume is unbelievable, it just kind of shows that like nobody's deployment is safe. The only one, I think even Leo Carlsson was on power play 2 at some point. Like I think there's literally no one who's safe in their deployment on this team. So other than Jackson Lacombe, but he used to be a forward, so who knows what's going on there.
That was a defenseman.
Yeah,
he's also on Team USA. Instead of Lane Hudson. How does that make any sense? Nobody knows.
Anyways,
Jacob Trouba's the quarterback of Power Play 2. Like, make it make sense.
Trouba's the GOAT, okay?
He got like 8 shots 2 games ago or something. It makes no sense.
I mean, he's been shooting like a cannon like all season. It's actually been sick. Good times to be a Trouba owner. Anyways, back to people on my opponent's team who have been injured for months but are coming back just in time to play me. Victor Hedman returned from injury and is playing line 3, no power play, but they're just easing him in. Like, I'd be shocked if he's not power play 2 by a game or 2 more. He only played like 10 minutes. Honestly, like I wonder if they rushed him back so that he can play in the Olympics. And maybe he's like, because that kind of sketches me
just
out.
Just
like
get him some ice time
power
before.
play. Yeah, like 10 minutes of ice time, line 3, no power play in like the Stadium Series, like massive game, like in division versus Boston. It just like it could be just easing him in, but at the same time, if you need to ease him in at that extent, he probably wasn't fully ready to return. So I think there's something there. I think we might see that with a few guys where they might kind of like rush back a little to make the Olympics. So I'm looking at like Landeskog also. I feel like he could have stayed out longer, and he's not going to play before the Olympics, but he's going to play in the Olympics. And I feel like just with how, nothing's guaranteed with the NHL players going to Olympics. It's been like 12 years. I think that everyone just wants to play, even if they're healthy or not. Jack Hughes, he's going to play in the Olympics. He is definitely not healthy. I could tell you that.
He said he feels good last he saw. But...
Yeah, what else is he going to say? Oh, I don't think I should go to Milan because I'm actually extremely injured and my skin is paper and my bones are glass and all that, yada, yada. No, he's going to say I'm feeling great and I'm ready to represent the U.S. And he's going to pull a Matthew Tkachuk from the Four Nations last year and cost them by playing injured instead of letting someone else go.
Yeah, they benched Kyle Connor and then...
Yeah, exactly.
That was a whole shabacle, but
yeah. Well, now this is except now it's going to be Jack Hughes playing with like half an arm versus Jason Robertson chilling at home and Cole Caulfield chilling at home. Like, yeah. But anyways, just to sum up my opponent's players, that's Kopitar, Terry, and Hedman.
Before Hedman, before we move on from Hedman, I am like a firm. I don't want him on my team.
Yes.
At this point,
Are we
I really think
boys?
it's. Sorry,
we are all turniping.
We're alternate boys.
He is like actually so good, and I figured something out when I was watching the outdoor classic this past weekend.
It's because he's
First
bald.
of all, yeah, it's super
This is bald
aerodynamic.
Panarin over.
No, but what it is with him is that Kucherov, plays on the right side, and it's super easy to give Raddysh the one-timers. Hedman's a lefty. It doesn't work the same. Obviously, Kucherov's been able to be sick no matter who he's played with, and Hedman does have the pedigree, but I think that they've done so tremendously well with Raddysh there this year that it's going to be Raddysh's spot rest of the season. If you can sell Hedman on him coming back, I would, because I don't, and the name value, I don't want him at all. Zero.
Yeah. He was a good stash when he was for free and you picked him up on waivers just to see how it was going to shake out. If you did that, I'm like, the thing is now you have to cut him if you don't want to activate him, right? So depending on your situation, that's most likely the case. Raddysh has been too good. Guys, is there a better defenseman in the league for fantasy than Darren Raddysh? It's actually nuts.
No.
I played against him last week, and first of all, I played against Matthew Olivier, and then also played against Darren Raddysh, which got overlooked. But he had, the last 4 games he has 7 points in the last 4 games, 3 power play points, and almost 20 shots.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense?
It's crazy.
It's
Every
nuts.
night I wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat being like, I can't believe I didn't pick up Darren Raddysh.
I know.
It's honestly like, it's nuts. I was this close to picking him up, but because I had too many defensemen that week, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to bench someone all week, so I'm not going to pick him up. Hedman's going to be back next week anyways. Whatever, I'm over it, except I never will be.
We're going to be talking about this 3 years from now, that time we didn't pick up Darren Raddysh.
I mean, I remember this happens like every year, the same way that 0G is the way to go, because every year there's at least one like breakout goalie that comes out of nowhere to pick up. Every year I find that there's one unreal defenseman who comes out of nowhere. Mo Seider, the year that he blew up, no one drafted him. He was like a nobody, like Brock Faber had that one year, right, where he was like actually unreal. And
Jacob Chikrin that one year, but I remember picking him up.
Like there's always one stud defenseman that comes out of nowhere. And I mean, I've never seen it to this extent, although Seider was pretty sick that year, but like this feels like different. And I always miss out.
For sure.
And every year I'm like,
Seider,
I'm going to look at every defenseman so I don't miss. But
At least Seider was like a high pick though. Darren Raddysh is not young.
Oh,
like, I'm pretty sure he's like in his late 20s. He's finally getting an opportunity. He's like, look guys, I can shoot the puck. You give me like the best playmaker in the world, or at least top 3 in Kucherov. Just like, give me the puck. Like, I'll score, I promise.
Yeah.
And he does it.
It's crazy.
Nuts.
Actually insane. Anyways, all that to say, all 3 of the guys on my opponent's team were out for months, and they came back literally the day I'm playing them. There's something here, guys. I've been talking about this all season. These hands heal. Anyways, let's keep going. Logan
like
Thompson. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
We need to put you in contact with Josh Norris, please.
Kevin, you're just unlucky that I'm not playing you again.
I know.
All you guys
would
get healthy. All right. Logan Thompson is day-to-day with an upper body injury, and Charlie Lindgren is on IR. So Clay Stevenson is the starter until Thompson returns. Thompson should return before the Olympic break, it seems. So they have this back-to-back. He's missing both, but then they have one more game before the break, and he should be back for that. So you're only getting one start of Clay Stevenson, and that actually is happening as we speak right now. So I don't think anyone's going to be picking him up because of this. But yeah, I think is this another case of someone rushing back for the Olympics? Do you think he could have been out a bit longer, or you think that he's ready to come back?
I think they're rushing. I think they're putting him on off the ice for Olympics. I think the extra break is there. They're going to use it, and that's it.
Yeah. Do we think Washington makes the playoffs?
I think they're going to try. That's more than a lot of teams can say, but I don't think they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Unless they get like a Panarin, then I would seriously reconsider my opinion. But as of right now, it's not looking like that.
Yeah.
So you think it's basically Blue Jackets who are going to be the 3rd spot there?
I mean, under bonus, it's just a completely different team. And for the better, obviously. So.
Yeah, I think the Blue Jackets should.
Yeah.
All right. UPL Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is out for about a week with a lower body injury. Alex Lyon will get all the starts until he returns, barring back-to-back. What do you guys think of Alex Lyon? I know Jakey said that he's the real deal. And what do you guys think of like the split when UPL returns? What do you think of the Buffalo as a whole? I know Kevin said he's not buying it. Like, what do we? Is this a must pick up?
If Josh Norris came back, I'd buy into it a lot more. But right now he's still on my IR, and I will keep mentioning him. But Jakey said Alex Lyon's a league winner, and then Josh picked him up. So
yeah,
I will say I was gonna pick him up before Jakey said that, but it didn't reinforce my beliefs.
Yeah, okay.
First of all, I'm flattered. So thank you, Josh, you dedicated Banger Management fantasy hockey listener, for listening to our voice.
Josh is in Iceberg every day.
Yeah. So to me, this is, and I said this and I stand by it. This is the last big goalie pickup of the year. I think he's been so good. He's been on such a tear, and I think that he is their better goalie, and hopefully the coach realizes that. My idea here is that, like, when UPL comes back, Lyon is still going to get, quote, the lion's share, haha. But I also, look, I don't know if they're going to be making the playoffs, but they'll be in contention. Like, I don't think they're just going to go on some crazy losing streak like they have in years past. It feels different, and it feels like it's been happening for longer, as Kevin alluded to earlier.
I mean, I'm less all in on them as you are. I think Lyon has been fantastic, but to me, this is not a sustainable level of production. And I like calling him 6K. What happened to 6K? I like 6K.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Instead of UPL, I like saying 6K more. But I still think he's a great goalie. I think he's just as good as Lyon, to be honest. And we've seen that because they've been splitting and they've both been really solid. And I do think he has the edge just because of, like, he's been on this team longer and, like, he had the edge going into it type of thing. But Lyon is fantastic. But I do think both of these guys slow down a little bit. And that doesn't mean Buffalo stops winning. I just think the goalies are really overproducing in what they're putting on the ice. And I don't think he's going to run away with the amount of starts. So I'm not putting him in league winner status, but I do think he's a phenomenal stream right now.
Yeah, he won't be a 9.45 as he has been for the past few games since he's gotten back. But I still think, like, a 9.05 to 9.10 is attainable. And at that point, if he does get the majority, which I anticipate it's not going to be a true tandem, I think he's going to get most. I'm very happy to have him on my team. Instead, I took Dominic James.
I also feel like I also feel like
face-offs.
I don't know if this is like a thing, but like in the past when teams have done tandems, do they, as you get closer to playoffs, like let's say they know they're making the playoffs or whatever, like do you find they start playing one of them more, the guy they expect to be their playoff goalie, or do you think they tandem it all the way till the end and then they just choose a goalie and go with him?
Yeah, they do the tandem into the end, and then they get into the playoffs and they don't know what the F is going on, and then they lose. That's what happens with tandem situations.
I know. We've had this conversation before, though. It's just like, teams that run a tandem don't usually have one really elite guy, so they run the tandem because both can give quality. So it's like, oh, there's no team that's ever won the cup with a tandem, but like the teams with tandems don't have elite goalies, so no team has ever won the league without an elite goalie type of thing.
But just imagine you're the 2024-25 Washington Capitals, and you have a very good goalie on your hands, another okay goalie, and you know what? We're going to do a tandem. So they do a tandem, and then the entire year they finish with like an amazing record. I think they didn't win the President's Trophy, but they were like finished,
second,
Yeah, they finished second, and then they get into the playoffs. They're like, I don't know what the heck is going on. And then the next year they decide to play that better goalie more frequently, and lo and behold, they could have done better last year if they just played Logan Thompson. Is what I'm
No, lo and
at.
Behold, they're doing terribly this year. You're just pissed because you had Thompson last year when he was amazing and he was only playing half the games.
But they had a better team. They had PLD
Absolutely,
healthy and stuff. Although sort of is a beast, but that's whatever.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going because we're dilly dallying a bit much here. Morgan Rielly is day to day with an upper body injury. OEL gets power play 1 while he's out. The the thing with all these day-to-days going into the break is that by the time the break's over, they're going to be healthy again. So it feels like there's not too much to say about a lot of these day-to-days.
Yeah. It just gives the opportunity to stream these other guys.
Yeah, for like half a week.
Yep.
Like 1 or 2 games.
So sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah. William Nylander returned from injury and is line 2, power play 1, bumping Matias Maccelli off power play 1. Unsurprisingly. Are we still fully? Do we expect Nylander to be back to like 1.2 finish the season? What do we expect him to points per game wise rest of the season?
I wasn't at the 1.2, but I still think he's going to be solid. I think he's going to be more closer to like a point per game, though.
Okay. Yeah, he got 5 shots first game back. Mm-hmm. That was one of the kind of L's of his season so far was the shooting volume. But if he gets that back, I mean, his points were kind of unreal all season. So I think he's 1.2.
I think so too. Yeah, I mean,
I've been trying to buy low so much.
Yeah,
but the manager's not in the playoffs anymore. Sad.
Yeah, he's definitely since he flipped off the camera when Nylander.
That was awesome.
People got real mad, but
that's crazy. Why would you get mad at that?
No, I mean I don't care. Like the league, I think made him they made him apologize. Like lest we forget, William Nylander got a goal and an assist and 1 shot on goal in 2 minutes and 17 seconds of ice time.
That's an insane pace for the rest of the season.
Yeah. His per 60 stat turned out.
So that continues. It's yeah, but I'm also thinking 1.1 to 1.3 in that range.
Yeah. Okay. Jack Hughes is day-to-day with a lower body injury. Connor Brown taking his spot on power play 1. Is anyone shocked?
Gasp.
I think Jack Hughes is our most popular name on these news episodes because it's Jack Hughes is injured, Jack Hughes is healthy, Jack Hughes is injured. Snip, snap,
Seriously.
snip, snap.
No, it's a disaster. I'm not surprised at all. He's totally made a class. So.
Do you guys avoid him in the draft next year?
Yes.
I will not be avoiding him in the draft next year.
I'm
ready to be hurt again. Maybe because I haven't owned him this year. Don't forget, I drafted Brady Tkachuk and Vincent Trocheck, who never get hurt, and both of them missed 2 months this season. So, you know,
but there's some guys who just like at a certain point, you know, like when do you just admit, like, because I've always been of the opinion that as long as there's no lingering effects of previous injury, I don't like caring about it. But at a certain point, it's like, when do you just be like, okay, you know what, this guy is guaranteed getting injured this year? I don't know. I feel like he's just getting close to that territory.
No, it's crazy. He's played 1 full season, and by full, I still mean like he missed 3 games, so not really. And then other than that, he's missed at least 20 games every season.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I suppose the COVID year was a full year, but yeah, he's really just cannot stay healthy. He'll be above a point per game. If he ever stays healthy, I'm assuming he could get 110 points, which is awesome. But like next year, depending on the landing spot, if I have a Panarin or a Jack Hughes, why are you picking Jack Hughes? Right?
Yeah. I think if he drops because of that injury concern, that's when you take him. But like if you have him where you're like, if he was healthy, he'd be the best player here, but not by like that much, then maybe you just go with the safer bet, who's like, you know, instead of, you know, 1.2 points per game, the guy's like 1.15 or 1. You know, like you're like, yeah, I'll just take the slightly worse guy who's going to stay healthy more likely.
I mean, barring the playoff schedules being like super different, like next year I'm still going to take Jack Hughes over. I'm still going to take him over Nylander. I'm still going to take him over Panarin. I'm still going to take him over Kyle Connor. I'm still going to take him over
Like if you're
Necas.
if you're in that spot like late first, early second round, and you get to your turn and you see Jack Hughes as the best guy available, you're going to use your first or second round pick on him?
I'll still take him. I'll be really happy if it's an early second round pick as opposed to a late first round pick. But I feel like we'll have to see how the board shakes out. Obviously, there's still a lot of good quality players depending on how deep your league is. But at the end of the first round, like we play in a 14-team league. Like if he was picked 13 or 14, like I'm not gonna hate it.
Okay. I mean, I'd like to say I would do the same, but I've started to. I think for me, just like my least favorite part of fantasy is when all my guys are injured. It feels like it keeps happening the last like year or two. So I'm trying to like minimize that. But obviously it's so random, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like I drafted Brady and I drafted Trocheck. Trocheck hadn't missed a game in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Missed 2 months. What am I doing? Like, imagine like I skip Jack Hughes because I think he's going to get hurt. He doesn't end up getting hurt. And obviously we know, like, I mean, we're living it right now. He's hurt. He literally got hurt at dinner this year, guys. Like he was cutting a steak and something happened.
Yeah.
So I hear you.
I will say, to your point, a guy that I've drafted every single year until last year was Zach Werenski, and every year he would get injured, season-ending injury, you know. And so last year I was like, you know what, I'm not going to take him. And then who grabs him? Jakey. And what does he do? He puts up the best year of his career and immediately becomes a top 3 fantasy defenseman. Yeah. Doesn't get injured, you know. So like I get your point. You know, the upside's there on these guys, and if you overthink it, you can end up missing out.
It's easy to say when you're in the moment or after the fact, like, oh, of course Jack Hughes gets hurt again, type of thing. But like,
Yeah.
Look at Mark Stone this season. Like, I know he's missed time, but he's been insane.
That's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
All right. Robert Thomas had a minor leg procedure and should be back after the Olympic break. Do you guys think he's a buy low? Are you staying away? What do you think is the deal? Can he turn his season around? It's going to be close to point per game again?
I'm happier to buy low now that I can IR stash him, if I'm being real. And I don't have to hold like the performances on my roster. But it's low. I'm not giving, like, I'd rather Fantilli rest of the season. I think we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I think it was the episode Josh missed. I forget if Josh was on the Fantilli side or the Robert Thomas side. But
I went Fantilli.
I thought you were going to go Robert Thomas, but you went Fantilli after we spoke about it after the fact. But that's the type of thing, like, Robert Thomas should not be in those conversations, right? Like, he should be way higher up the rankings, but this is just not the year. I mean, he could get traded. That's not
I was going to say, do you guys think there's any chance he gets traded? I think that it's all BS. I think it's all just smoke, and I was just blowing smoke in the bathroom.
Oh, hey, smoke.
Yeah, no, I think it's just Doug Armstrong just, kind of like messing with people, and he's like, yeah, for the right price, I'll trade him. To him, the right price is like what Quinn Hughes got or something, So like, I don't see him getting moved. I wouldn't bank on it if you're trying to buy low. If you're buying low on him, it's because you believe in him turning it around in St. Louis.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily going to happen.
Lastly, Kirill Marchenko is day-to-day with an illness. Kent Johnson would take his spot on power play 1 if he misses a game. Again, these day-to-day, it's also an illness. I just think there's an illness going through the Columbus locker room, so it's something to keep an eye on for this coming. I wouldn't stream a Columbus guy for this before the break. Monahan just missed some time with an illness. Now Marchenko might miss some time. It's the type of thing where you pick up a guy and then he's out like a minute before the game starts because of the illness, so I would just avoid that.
Yeah. I thought of when you said, oh, there's the illness is going through the Columbus locker room. I was like, oh, hail this. Like,
I thought you were going to say that you were like hoping it hits Matthew Olivier.
No. I mean, it should, hopefully. I think I saw a report that said like he's battling like the illness, but he's okay enough to play and score against my fantasy team.
Yeah, of course. Well, he knew it was an important week. So.
Yeah, he did. He heard right, the scrap. And then,
yeah. Let's get into the Would You Rathers.
All right. I've been looking forward to this. I spiced up the order. So if this is the first time you guys are listening to a news and Would You Rather episode, I cover 5 positions for these Would You Rathers: center, defenseman, goalie, left wing, right wing, and I try to split the difference between Jake and Josh, have them pick separate players. I try to find the line of where the player values are. So it's just a good conversation to know, like, first of all, for like trades and just like player value rest of season. We're always talking banger leagues, and we're always talking without face-off wins unless we specify with face-off wins. I usually start with the forward positions, but I kind of wanted the inverse order today. So we're starting with goalies.
And if you guys like the way Kevin spiced it up, give this a 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, seriously. Guys, if you're listening this far in, we're like an hour into the podcast. We're about to cover the Would You Rathers. If you're listening this far, that means you like what we're saying. That means you should rate us 5 stars on Spotify, 5 stars on Apple. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a subscribe, give us a thumbs up, all that good stuff. And leave us a comment in the comments about who you would pick in these Would You Rathers. I want to know if I can split the difference between the viewers as well. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But we're talking goalies, and this is a hot conversation. Maybe I was too polarizing here, but would you rather rest of season?
If he says Jet Greaves, I'm going to lose my mind.
No, I wish. No, Connor Hellebuyck or John Gibson rest of season. Did I go too low?
I mean,
nobody wants Hellebuyck anymore, guys.
I'm going Gibson.
Ooh, okay, did not go low enough.
Yeah, I think that Detroit is the real deal this year. I think that Gibson is one of few goalies who gets as much volume as Hellebuyck does. And
he's squishy.
He's definitely squishy, but we were just talking about that. You know, he's healthy now, so no reason to go into it. Hellebuyck's the one who's been out for who was out for like a few weeks earlier this year. So yeah, at this point, look, I still think that I like Hellebuyck for volume, and he's going to get a lot of saves. I don't expect Winnipeg to have some miraculous turnaround. I think they just are poop this year. And yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think that just now Hellebuyck's being carried by his name value, but it's late enough in the season where I'm ready to call it. I'm not targeting him in trades anymore.
Dang, Jakey, how do you feel?
I think
Guys,
Tell me how you really feel.
Connor Hellebuyck.
so Gibson was honestly my first instinct here, and the reason is like all the things that you said, and I totally agree. Definitely, I believe in Detroit more rest of the season over Winnipeg, but I think that when it comes down to it, Hellebuyck's going to get the majority of the starts, and I do expect him to get more volume than Gibson, and also similar, percentages, but probably less wins. That's what I think. And I totally get where you're coming from with Gibson, like 100%. But Gibson's been known to be like pretty inconsistent in, his career. So it's more of a referendum on him and less so like I think that Winnipeg's going to turn it around. So I'm going to give the slight edge to Hellebuyck here. I think you went like you didn't go too low. It's a perfect question because it's like I'm, a tiny percentage away of thinking Gibson, like maybe one more game of Hellebuyck being a bust, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, I'm out. But as it stands at this exact moment of the recording, I'm gonna go Hellebuyck still.
Ooh, I think I'm also going a smidge on the John Gibson side, just because I do think I do think Hellebuyck. No, but honestly, it's like ask me tomorrow, and maybe I'm going the other way.
Yeah.
Don't tell my girlfriend. But
oh, hey, Smoke.
Illness, what are you doing here?
Next episode on Heated Rivalry.
Literally. I just think Detroit's a really good team, and I think Winnipeg is not a good team this year. And I think the wins are going to be big enough of a difference that the quality won't bridge that gap. But it's tough because, I mean, Gibson has been playing a lot of games. He could get hurt. Hellebuyck could get hurt. But to me right now, I think Gibson is a safer choice. And with goalies, it's so volatile. Like it's week by week. The whole landscape changes, it feels like. But I think right now I'd go in Gibson.
For me with like Hellebuyck, the way I see it is his main asset now is the volume.
Mm-hmm.
And if you show me another goalie like Gibson who has that same volume and is just on a better team, I'm going to go with that guy. Because I really think that Hellebuyck's like, I don't expect his rate stats to be that great. I don't expect him to get almost any wins. He's just going to play a lot. He's just going to be in front of a lot of pucks. But yeah, I think there's a lot of goalies that you'd probably be surprised that would take over Hellebuyck at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy. Jack Reeves?
Yeah.
No way! Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes you feel good.
I mean, the second that he starts getting more start, like if it's 50-50, I'm going Hellebuyck.
Okay.
So, but I think Reeves should take the starts from Elvis. So I'll take a step back. If it's 50-50, I'm still going Hellebuyck. But if Reeves is getting more starts, I'd prefer him.
Okay, so wait, where's the line on Hellebuyck now? Now I got to figure this out.
Yeah, you have to do this one.
Any volume starter on a team that's like. I think is a lot better than Winnipeg. I'm taking over
Ullmark?
That's a tough one because I don't know if Ottawa's that much better than Winnipeg.
I think they're better. I think Ottawa's better, but we've seen what the goalies can do on Ottawa. So
yeah, it's tough because they're the type of team that can win games, but like he can have worse rate stats than Hellebuyck. So yeah, that's a close one. I'm not certain right off the top of my head. But honestly, I'd probably go Ullmark. Just I think he has I think Ottawa can be a good team. Winnipeg, I have no hope in this season. Now watch them go on a crazy St. Louis run or something. After I say all this.
What about Dustin Wolf? Last one I'll ask.
No, I'm going Hellebuyck.
Okay.
They're Wolf splitting starts on a team that's worse than Winnipeg.
Kevin, you do one or two a bit higher so that I could potentially. I'm taking Hellebuyck.
I'm taking Bob.
Bob has also been just bad in terms of the percentage.
Yeah, but Florida at least wins games.
Yeah, that's the main thing. What about Joseph Woll?
Hellebuyck,
yeah.
Okay. All right, well, hopefully that was helpful. But I think this was a good conversation. I think it was needed. Hellebuyck was a buy low for us for a long time. And I think he did bounce back a little bit, but it's just Winnipeg is just not there this year. So we got to reevaluate. If you have Hellebuyck, do you think you can even trade him? You could probably get do you think you get Jet Reeves Plus and be like, this is your opportunity to buy low type of
value.
Thing?
Yeah, you can still trade him. I mean, they're 5-3-2 over the last 10, and also they're really not that far out of the playoffs, guys. I don't think they'll make it. I had them finishing 5th. I stand by that. But also, they have the Predators and the Mammoth to beat out. Is that impossible? No.
No,
Like-
I'm surprised. I didn't realize they were doing decently
They have
recently.
51 points on the season. Nashville has 56. Utah has 60. So
They just suck though.
I know. No, I hear you. I hear you. But he's
Yeah.
still. I think we
Yeah.
have to give him a bit more respect. Like I get where you're coming from though. The Gibson one was like probably the closest one of all the ones we mentioned. But
Yeah.
It's still
Yeah.
Connor Hellebuyck at the end of the day. He can make us look like dum-dums.
For
yeah,
sure.
not me though.
I'm not Jakey, but I wouldn't be surprised. I went a bit hard on that one. I don't even own him, so I don't know why I'm so like so against him.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, F this
I think it's
guy.
because in your mind you tried to buy him for so long that you're finally fed up with it, and you're just like, not buying them.
That definitely could be it.
All right, well, this next one might be just as polarizing. Would you rather rest of season Mo Seider or Darren Raddysh? Bangers League, don't forget.
This is great because it's making us reevaluate a lot of our
Mhm.
takes from earlier, and I think you have to. I think like if you can't just stick to your takes as they gets proven kind of wrong, unless you're like, okay, sometimes you stick to your guns, but at a certain point you have to readjust. And look, I'm going Raddysh, and I know that might be absolutely insane, but it's been
If you look at the numbers,
sustained
he's
long
like
enough.
tripling his production.
That's it. It's like, and also like I find with some of these guys who are these bangers beasts, they've actually been underwhelming at bangers. We talked about McAvoy on our buy low sell high episode, right? He's been amazing at points, but bangers aren't there.
Mhm.
Dahlin's another one, amazing at points, bangers haven't been there. Seider hasn't been amazing at points, and the bangers aren't there. Like he blocks a lot and he shoots an okay amount, but like where are the hits? Like I drafted him this year to be that like kind of all around defenseman, and it's at this point it's a lot of name value holding that weight, right? So, and I think that if Detroit trades for any defenseman, like he can get bumped off power play one a lot easier than Raddysh can, which is kind of insane to say. All that say, I'm going Raddysh, and I would never said that at the beginning of the season because I would have been like, who is Darren Raddysh? So,
So the only guy that's been a beast for bangers, I think that was drafted to sort of do both, was Uyghur, and his points have sucked. So you're right. Like there's no combo guy this year. It's actually quite disappointing.
I mean, that's why those guys are super valuable because there's literally like 2 or 3 of them usually, and this year they
They're not
haven't even
even,
been
like-
reliable.
Can you think of one? Like I mean, I can't. Like I can't. Like McAvoy was the one.
Jacob
that, I would
Trouba for
think
like
of,
those
I was
2 weeks
about to
during the
say,
season.
I was about to
Yeah,
say Jacob Trouba.
exactly.
Remember when everybody was like, "Oh, he's back, he's the GOAT," and we told everybody to sell high, and then he was like a drop for like 2 months,
Yeah, and then he got dropped in our league, and I grabbed him, and he's been sick.
and now he's sick again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Mr. Aerodynamic himself as well. Darren Raddysh over here. He's just been unbelievably good. And I think that no matter how strong Detroit is, the offensive potential that he has, just because Seider is a great overall defenseman, but the offensive potential that Raddysh has is just way higher than I think what Seider has. If Seider's banger cats were stellar, it would maybe be a question mark. But I mean, like his hits have just been like really not it at all. Over the last 30 days, Seider has 0.79 hits per game. Like what? That's nothing. That's like
Yeah,
like
it's
Phil
crazy.
Deneau numbers type thing. Like that's not special at all. So
Smoke could do better.
Raddysh is way better. Raddish's hits have been better. His shots have basically been double of Seider, and like this is like a long sample size. Obviously, Raddysh is due for some negative regression, and Seider is due for some positive regression. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, like other than the blocks, I think every other category is going in Raddish's way.
Yeah, it's honestly crazy that we're here right now because Raddysh was. I mean, I'm ready to say he's like the pickup of the season. Like
I think so.
Yeah.
people picked up.
Pick up of the decade.
People picked up.
Yeah.
It was Frank Nazar the first the first month of the season. It felt like people were like, "Oh, he's the league winner." We didn't buy into it. Leo Carlson was a league winner for a long time. Like he got drafted in some leagues, but not every league. I think Darren Raddysh, what he's doing from the defenseman position is insane.
Nuts.
And there was always
I
the
have
what if
more
Hedman
nightmares
comes
about
back? What if Hedman comes back? Like Hedman is back, and I think Raddysh is just doing. He got even better and better and better. I don't know how you don't go with this guy.
Yeah.
Who's a better defenseman in fantasy than Darren Raddysh right now? Who would you rather have? Makar for sure.
Bouchard, Makar, Quinn Hughes,
Werenski. Those are the 4 names. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I'm on the same page. Dahlin.
Yeah, Dahlin.
Okay.
I don't even know about that. I mean,
I mean, Dahlin's
Dahlin's
has
been
not
really
been
good.
crazy.
No,
yeah, but
I
he's
feel
been
like,
really good points wise.
Yeah, but Darren Raddysh has been better.
Yeah, but like just because of like the name value
Yeah.
there, and like I trust Dahlin to maintain it more than Raddysh.
Fair.
So, but I mean, if you tell me Raddysh is going to finish the season better than Dahlin, I'd be like, I could see that.
Yeah.
I'd take Dahlin for the safety.
Yeah, I'm not the same. And like there is the small risk that Hedman does take it over, but I think that is so tremendously unlikely that I don't want him on my team, as we said. So yeah,
if you have,
I think Raddysh is.
If you have Quinn Hughes or you have Bouchard and your playoffs are week 21 to 23, are you looking to flip them for Darren Raddysh plus, given the better playoff schedule from Tampa? Or is that too risky?
If you can get a big plus, then I kind of like it.
What if you could trade Bouchard for Darren Raddysh plus Drake Batherson?
Nah, I don't think that's enough to make it happen. Yeah,
I think I would do that.
Of course,
really?
Yeah. I feel like
as if like Bouchard hasn't been absolutely nuts.
Yeah, but Darren
also.
Raddysh is insane, has a better playoff schedule, and Batherson has a great playoff schedule. That's a 0.85 points per game player. You're not picking that up on waivers.
But Bouchard also is like, okay, it's Bouchard. He's playing insane, but we also expected him to be a top 3 defenseman. Like you got to get enough value for like, even though the numbers look the same, the gap in like, where they were expected to be. Like if Bouchard was performing like Seider is, then I'd be like, yeah, you can do the 1-for-1 and like be happy if the person will do it off name value. Yeah. But like with the way he's been doing, you should be able to get more than that.
I'm
like the point of
trade.
The point of the trade is to be like, look, I'll buy Darren Raddysh super high. I'll give you a defenseman who's doing just as good as him and is supposed to be doing this well, but you have to give me a big plus in return to make it worth it. I think you could do better than Batherson as the plus, because Batherson is a bit of a buy low right now.
If you have Raddysh, why am I giving up so much extra value to move to Bouchard when Raddysh has arguably been better for stretches?
Well, it's because you picked up Raddysh off free agency, and you're like, I don't know when this ride's going to end. I'd rather just cash in on the sell high.
I just think
he's kind
of cemented his position, and like you're gonna have to. You can't get as big of a plus onto him. He's not a waiver wire guy that's hot. He's like an actual top 5 defenseman.
Yeah, I just feel like at that point I'd rather just hold Bouchard.
I would do the trade. I would do Raddysh plus Batherson.
Batherson is a concept. For everyone listening, by the way. Yes, he's a real person, but we simply mean like a player with high potential, currently underperforming, although like he's really good
pretty good.
Yeah, but like
on the season.
I guess there was like on the season, exactly. Like somewhere near a point per game, good shots, hits combo with a good playoff schedule. Just to say, it doesn't always have to be Drake Batherson.
Yeah.
If you see someone
people are annoyed.
No, they can't be. It just flows off the tongue so well.
All right, let's talk about wingers. This is for right wingers, I guess. But would you rather Travis Konecny or Adrian Kempe rest of season?
Wow. Okay, let me like take a second, because I can't just keep rushing into the guy who's been doing way better and be like, this guy
both
for
been
sure.
Super good as of late, so it's a good thing.
Konechny's been on fire. Awesome. He just played against my fantasy team, so he's been pretty off the charts.
Both their names start with a K.
That's really a big factor.
Konecny, Kempe, Kevin.
My God. Just that the names don't lie. Jakey, you can go first on this one.
All right. You know what? I think I'm gonna go Konecny here. I think that it's kind of a very similar archetype of player. I believe in LA's bounce back, but I think that just Konecny himself can really do like a lot of valuable things. He's got the short-handed point, which Kempe is not going to have. That's definitely like a something in his favor that's consistent year in and year out. And also the PIMs, I know as of late Kempe technically has more, but on the season, Konecny, they're tied at 0.85, which I actually find surprising. I just think the points are going to be better. The peripheral categories are going to be comparable, and then you add on the short-handed points, and it's just a Konecny win. But it's like you're splitting feathers. It feels like similar archetype, so close.
I think that it's super close as well. I think it's a really good one. Kempe started really slow, but he's been heating up. Konechny's been on absolute fire lately. I'm not a fan of either of these power plays, so I don't trust either of them to be sustainable or enough of a difference. Shorties is a big one, but a lot of leagues don't count that. Shots go in Kempe's favor, hits go in Konechny's favor, PIMs go in Konechny's favor, and Konecny has a better playoff schedule than Kempe, and I think that's enough to sway me in his direction. it's a 1-game difference, but I think there's a solid off night difference as well. So I think that that helps me go with Konecny.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this was so tough. I was hoping I split the difference here, but to me, this just feels like the one that we're like, it's so close, but Konecny's been hotter, so we're leaning there. But give it a week, and Konecny slows down a little bit, and Kempe keeps it going, and then we'd be like, all right, well, obviously Adrian Kempe, he was drafted higher. Kempe was drafted in like 3rd round in most leagues. I think Konecny's more like a 5th round kind of guy. So he has more of the draft pedigree, but the usual difference there is the shots. Like I think Kempe usually has like around 0.6 to 0.7 more shots a game, which is noticeable when you're splitting feathers. But yeah,
But the hits for Konecny.
They both hit around the same amount.
Okay, last month Konecny has 0.6 more.
Last season on the average it was 1.2 Kempe, 1.15 Konecny. So I'm like
okay, same.
So it's pretty much the same exactly. So it's kind of just like, to me, this comes down to which team do you believe in more? What are the other factors that let you split the difference? Playoff schedule is a huge one. I think power play is a big one.
Artemi Panarin.
I was gonna say I can.
Both of their names are in it, right? So like Philly and LA.
Maybe I'm just being naive, but I feel like, first of all, if Panarin goes to either of these teams, I feel like that's a huge boost for whoever else is on that team. So like big boost for Konecny, big boost for Kempe if it happens. But there's a part of me that believes that LA's power play has more room to grow than Philly's. Like Philly's, I'm not expecting things to change, whereas LA, like we're all like it shouldn't be this bad type of thing, So it feels like there's more runaway for Kempe as potential growth, but it's tough. I had Konecny, I traded him away, so I feel like
big mistake.
I mean, in my head, I'm just like, did I do the right thing?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm gonna go Kempe. I just feel like I have enough of the proven product of like him being better in recent years that it's so close right now, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt to finish the season stronger.
All right. So
I think I agree. I'm still going Konecny, but I agree what you said about the power play potential.
Mm-hmm.
LA definitely has more. I think Talkett just kills offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 choices, and so far, actually, Darren Raddysh, we were all on the same team.
Yeah.
But so far at least we've got.
But they've been tight, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
This is the least spicy one because it's the lowest stakes. But would you rather the rest of the season Tomas Hertl or Jared McCann?
Oh, for me it's easy.
I'm
going Hertl. Yeah. I think that I like
Line
Vegas'
3C
power play a lot more. I love his category coverage, especially in a face-off wins league. But also like some of the cats he's been putting up like are insane. He had a game where he had like 9 shots, like 15 face-off wins, like 3 hits and 2 blocks. It was just anyone who has that in their wheelhouse, along with being on that power play. Yeah, the even strength deployment's nothing to write home about, but I prefer Hertl a lot.
Yeah, I mean he was my sell high. Oh, was it 2 weeks ago? And I think that you were able to at the time, like that was a conversation with Larkin, Suzuki, Stützle, Jarvis, Kaprizov. Those were the targets. And good to know that he's kind of come back to earth, and now we're comparing him to McCann, who's still good, but not as good as those guys. When, like at the time, basically the idea was that he was overperforming, but the backouts are still good. And I think with here that I would anticipate McCann gets more points rest of the season, but the peripheral categories, like Josh said, it's just such an edge in Hertl's favor, especially in a face-offs league. I guess there is a conversation to be had though without it.
So
yeah, I guess without it, yeah. Really, so I guess face-offs is where Hertl really shines, right? He's a left wing doing that, and I think it's worth mentioning, I guess, because without it, maybe it's actually a lot closer than we're thinking about. Because McCann's going to get equal shots. I'd expect Hertl's hits and blocks to be better, but McCann is going to get more points, I would anticipate.
I think Hertl gets more power play points.
Mm-hmm. You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess I agree.
I can predict Hertl to get like, I think it's a 0.75, 0.8 points per game player. Like last year he was at 0.84. This season on the season he's at 0.87. When Jacob had him as a sell high, he was like by far over a point per game. So the averages are still pretty skewed. But he's line 3 with power play 1. I can see him being like 0.75 or 0.8 with half of his points coming on the power play. And I mean, you know me, I'm the power play SLUT. So it's tough. I think Jared McCann will be a lot more consistent, and he provides, I guess, slightly more category coverage if you're counting hits, but it's not anything to write home about. It's tough. The deployment is definitely in McCann's favor.
But like the team, you know, like McCann's line 1 power play 1, but on Seattle, whereas Hertl's line 3 power play 1, but on Vegas.
But we always talk about Hertl being one of the names to be able to be bumped off the power play 1 if anything happens.
I think at this point in the season, like the only way he gets bumped off is if they go big name hunting and
they get Panarin.
I mean, Vegas is it's always in their wheelhouse, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, I guess I'll stick with Hertl here, but it's actually because I just don't think the points difference is really going to make such a humongous difference in your week. Whereas at least with you have the nice floor with Hertl and the power play points, so that's why I'm sticking with it. But I wouldn't be surprised if McCann gets more points the rest of the season. This is actually, I know you said it's the least spicy, but I actually think it may be the closest one yet. Because it's like really, really, like, I mean, I guess tied with the Konecny Kempe one, but wow.
Once you have a face-off wins, it makes it a lot closer. I'm still thinking Hertl, though.
I'll stick with Hertl, but by a bit.
I'm also team Hertl, but I do think it's worth a conversation. To me, this is a... imagine we're like teachers or something. This is like this is a problem of like discussing how valuable is that power play 1 exposure on a good power play team, and how much value are you putting into like the difference in power play points compared to the overall value in terms of like overall 5-on-5 points and just the category coverage. I think the power play points are just too elite. Having that much from one position spot when the other categories are not too far behind or even ahead in some cases, it's just too valuable.
Yeah. You know, right. Like last quick thing is that I know you said, look at one's on Vegas, one's on Seattle. Seattle's 3 points away in the standings from Vegas. And not to mention the fact that they're also 1 game behind. So, it's looking pretty serious, but I think that this is one of those things that Seattle can just finish the year and just not be nearly as good and get bumped by one of the other teams here. The Pacific is super close, other than the bottom 2 teams. So it's close, but I think Vegas is a lock, and that's kind of just wanted to add that in there.
All right. Well, this last one is maybe the spiciest of all.
Oh my god.
I will say, when I do these would you rathers, I like choosing players that are kind of like accessible. Like when you're picking the top end guys, no matter what we're talking about, it feels like they're not really accessible in a trade, or they're already on a roster, not going to be moved. So it's not that the conversation isn't as worth it, but it's more like there's less consequences that could be had from this. So that's why I like talking about guys that are like in the middle pack a little bit, or like second round, third round, fourth round guys. We're talking about the cream of the crop right now.
Oh,
I want to talk about who would you rather rest of season?
It's guaranteed someone from my team.
Macklin, Celebrini, or Jack Eichel.
Wow. For a second, I thought you were going to be like, or Austin Matthews. I was like, we can't talk about this again. That's a crazy one. These are both, in my mind, first-round picks next year.
Yeah, 100%.
I think they're both incredible players. They have pretty much identical playoff schedules. There's nothing edged there. They both elite shooters, elite point getters. Power play Celebrini's blown up for that, and now is kind of like similar to Eichel, if not even better over the last month. They're super similar. They both win similar amount of faceoffs, if it really counts that. Who do you trust longer? I mean, Eichel's got more of the name value of, historically proven, right? So he's probably the safer bet. I think somehow Macklin has higher upside, if that's even possible. I think that there's just like, if I don't know, I feel like there's like some like magic, 2 things that make me think that Macklin has more upside. One, the magic of the Olympics and him getting to play with all those guys, I think could possibly help him, even though he doesn't need help and he's already amazing. 2, San Jose could acquire a Panarin or something like that, right? Macklin's been doing this with like, no shade to the rest of the Sharks players. Like Will Smith's been a sick like sidekick for him, but like he's doing this with like pretty much no help, right? He has John Klingberg or Dmitry Orlov as his power play 1 quarterback. So whereas like Vegas is stacked, Eichel's doing this, like his surroundings are not going to get better. All of that, and mainly for the vibes, I'm going Celebrini.
As the former Celebrini owner, how do you feel?
Yeah, I think I'm also going to go Macklin here. Oh, it's just nuts.
He's so good. He's so good.
Do you take Matthews over Eichel out of curiosity?
No, I think Matthews is behind both of these guys.
Really, eh?
To me.
Wow. I don't
The
know.
worst Fabian Zetterlund on all this.
Yeah, that's it. No, he sucks. I'm over this.
Finally, the truth comes out.
But I do.
Hey, I mean, Holloway's probably not going to play all season, so.
I think I actually would rather I think it goes. I still think I'd rather Matthews over.
Come
over
on
both.
now. Why?
I swear.
How are you?
I think that.
How do you have the argument that Matthews?
I think that there's a ceiling that, first of all, his blocks.
Celebrity's in blocking.
Yeah, but not like Matthews can. I just think that I think that there's basically when I look at Macklin's game log, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So I'm gonna take him over Eichel, because it seems like there's nowhere to go but up. I've said this though
it would be the opposite
a few times.
Yeah.
No, but I just I mean, okay, he can't keep doing this. Look
at Eichel's game log.
Yeah, his game log is also nuts.
Both of these guys are literally like top 7 players.
Let me rephrase. I think that in Macklin's career, he's going to be sick. I meant there's nowhere to go but up if they get another player, because Will Smith has been really the only viable asset to this team, and he's been injured for so long, and Macklin was still good. If they do get a Panarin, that's crazy. Otherwise, yeah, I think that he's still going to get a little bit less good. But Eichel's also been having a career year, right? Like we don't have Celebrini's averages yet. We don't know what it's really going to look like. This is his second year, but this is basically last year Eichel got 94 points. That was a record, and now he's on pace for 100. Right? So that's the type of thing that you can get from him, and I think Celebrini could just outpace him slightly, get a bit better shots, and even though the power play may work in Eichel's favor, I just feel like there's, at this point in the season, nobody more talismanic to their team.
I was about to say
than Celebrini.
We do love our talismans.
Maybe Kucherov, but those are
Darren
the
Raddysh
next
is the talisman on that.
That's true. Okay, no, that's fine. The good point. Celebrini is the most talented. Celebrini should win the Hart. I stand by that.
That's crazy.
He's done.
Yeah,
it's crazy that
that's
it's actually potentially feasible and makes sense.
Yeah,
the difference in points between him and the next guy on the team is 40 points.
No, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, Celebrini is my choice, and I still expect them both to get a little bit more down to earth, normal. Eichel could finish between 95 and 100. Right now he's on pace for 100, so that's basically whatever. And then Celebrini, I mean, with his pace, is just off the charts. He is right now on pace to score 122 points. I think it's going to be more like 110.
I think it's going to be 200.
That's it. So yeah, Celebrini's my choice. I hate it. I don't really, because he's good. He's really good.
He's so good.
He's really good. What about you, Kevin?
Well, first of all, do you regret your trade, Jake, or no?
He ranked Matthews above both these guys. So.
I know.
At this stage,
Matthews is getting 120 points. You heard it here first.
No. I always said Celebrini was going to get more points than Matthews. I thought the whole thing with Matthews was that the shots, faceoffs, and blocks were going to be consistent, and Celebrini's were going to come back to earth. But it doesn't seem like that's happening, unless he just decides to have a totally different approach to his game after the Olympic break, which maybe he will. I think that Celebrini's just going to be insane the rest of the season. So I don't know. I can't imagine a player is going to play 90 points or 90 games. No, maybe 87 in a season at a 19-year-old and maintain this insane pace the whole time. It doesn't feel normal. Nobody does that in this day and age. So if he does that, then we have the next Crosby McDavid on our hands. It's nuts.
I mean, I don't know if you've been seeing stuff that the other Team Canada players are saying, but they're I think it was I forget who had an interview recently, but he's yeah, I can't wait to play with some of the greats. I think it was there was a article published a McDavid wrote kind of a interview with him, whatever, and he was saying how he's looking forward to playing for Team Canada. He's yeah, you've got the greats, of the older generation Crosby, and then he's and then you've got guys like Celebrini, it was in the same sentence, it's people are just as excited to play with Celebrini as they are to play with Crosby. That's nuts.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Who are you picking?
I'm going Eichel.
I knew he was going Eichel.
I'm going
level
Eichel.
1 hater.
No, I mean I love Celebrini. If
I know.
Jakey didn't, I was gonna say if Jakey didn't have him on his team, I think I was gonna get him on my team this year. But yeah, to me it's just these are two of the top 5 to 7 players in the NHL right now for fantasy hockey. And you can't go wrong either way, right? So we're splitting feathers, but to me, Jack Eichel is in a way better situation. I feel like he's way safer of a player of this high elite caliber that to me, I'm taking that over the risk of, maybe Celebrini ends with 0.1 better, but I think he could finish with like 0.3 less potentially. You know what I mean? And just because he's a young player, we don't really know where the average is going to settle. And he's, like Josh said multiple times, like the second best guy on his team has got 40 less points than him. Like that's insane, right? So
yeah, I've never seen this like outside like this point share is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts. He just every time
like
they
San Jose's
score.
San Jose's record without like Celebrini like getting a point is like 1-11-2 or something like that. Like,
yeah,
it's nuts.
It's just crazy. Every time they get a point, I'm like, oh, can't believe I traded him because I don't even
another
bother
point
looking.
For Macklin Celebrini.
Literally,
have you seen that meme?
Oh, God.
Good times.
Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, this was a long ASS episode.
This is a long one. Thank you to everybody for listening to our Week 18 news and Would You Rathers episode. A lot of emotions in this one.
Yes. A lot of smoke, a lot of illness, a lot of emotions, all coming together. The holy trifecta.
Yes. If you enjoyed the show, follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Both.
Rate us 5
Everywhere.
stars. Yeah, you can follow us on both. Sure, everywhere. And subscribe on YouTube, and be sure to give this video a like as well. All the socials are in the podcast description, and join that Discord community. You will not regret it.
Guys, there's thousands of you that have been listening on a monthly basis. We would love to be able to hit 100 ratings on Spotify. We currently just crossed 80. So if you're listening this far and you really like what you're hearing, it really supports us a lot to give those ratings. And also we want to see you guys in the community. So the biggest thing, join the Discord, leave us a comment on YouTube, subscribe there. This thing is growing and we want to be able to help as many people as possible. Honestly, that's the goal. Every time I see somebody new join the Discord and ask us a question, and then me being able to help them with their fantasy team or any of us, it just brings me joy being like, all right, somebody else is getting an advantage in their fantasy league, and it's super cool to see.
Yep. All right,
Yep.
Ernie, take it away.
Bow, Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo!
Woo! Woo!
I did an easy one for you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this is too long an episode to end with a fancy one.